Hey guys, it's Shannon from ThatDIYCouple, and this is That DIY Dad.
Hi, how are you doing?
This is my dad, you guys. So, as you guys know, I have a love of gardening. My dad has a love of gardening, and my dad's mother, my grandmother, had a love of gardening. So I thought that you guys might be interested in seeing what my dad's garden looks like here in the grand state of Arizona. So I garden in the northeast United States near New York City, and my garden is very different from my dad's garden, which is a desert garden.
Okay.
Will you give us a little tour?
Sure, but I got to qualify that my gardening influences came from Shannon. I don't have a green thumb, but I'm trying.
I was impressed as I was walking around here.
Okay, so we're not going to limit this to my garden. I'm going to show you some of the flora and fauna of a typical Arizona backyard. So, which is all, of course, geared to the fact that we don't get a lot of rain. So most of the plants that you'll see are fed water by drip system and by sprinklers, so most of which you probably won't see, but they're there. So we're going to start over here. Okay, this shrub here, I have no idea what it is. I just know that it's kind of an evergreen, and it grows fast, and it needs constant trimming to make it look nice and round. This is a Margarita clementis or clementine vine that was here when we moved in, and I put another one over here just recently, just this spring. Like I said, they're all, you can see the bubblers or the drip systems with the red caps down there.
So this is how it gets water.
And this is a big ficus tree. It doesn't look so good right now because we here in Arizona, we had a pretty cold winter. We had some pretty severe freezes. This is a queen palm. We did have 3 or 4 of them, but they got damaged in one of our August monsoon storms last summer. A lot of people don't know that in Arizona in July and August, the humidity goes way up. It's still very, very hot, extraordinarily hot, but we get these afternoon thunderstorms and wind and dust storms, which we call haboobs, and they roll in, and sometimes they're very, very ferocious, and that's what happened last year. And the crowns of 3 of our queen palms were broken, so we had to replace them with other types of trees.
Is this like a mint plant or something, Dad?
Oh, that is, no, that's...
I think it is mint.
No, it's not. Right. And down around the base, you could see here and over there under the base of each of these trees are lantana. And these also got frozen and were trimmed way back to the point where just really a matter of 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was no greenery. So they just started budding, growing out, and the greenery starting. But these lantana will grow incredibly wide to the point where it'll come up almost to this light here, this feature lighting. And they're all summer long. They're just gorgeous yellow and red blooms, depending upon which type of lantana plant it is. And so the whole backyard is kind of a flowery, beautiful, accent to the trees and everything else. And very bushy, and the dogs like to dig in them and chase lizards into them. This is a Pindo Palm that was recently planted to replace one of our broken queen palms. And this is a pretty slow-growing palm tree. Very, very beautiful, and just provides a nice accent to the backyard.
At nighttime, my dad has these palms lit up with this beautiful accent lighting, and it looks really nice. Is this a Pindo palm too?
No, this is a Mexican blue fan palm. So you can notice that the leaves or the fronds look like a fan, really.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a type of a fan palm. It's also a pretty slow growing palm. So compare it to the thorns on the Pindo
Oh yeah, it's really
and
different.
on the Queen. You can see they're quite different.
Oh yeah, and then the stump of him is different too.
Yeah.
Like the.
Well, that's part of that is just how it's trimmed.
Oh okay.
So I mean, you have to maintain these and trim them, otherwise they look really shaggy and ugly.
Oh okay.
And this is a little tiny little fan.
Tell the story about this one.
This is a little tiny fan palm that one of my handball buddies, you know, after we played a game of handball and I was telling him about losing all of our palm trees, he goes, "Hey, I've got a palm tree for you that I've been growing for like 5 years, and I'd be happy to give it to you." And he had it in a pot, and I said, "Sure." And so the next time we played handball, he loaded it in his car, and of course I was expecting something, you know, pretty sizable from 5 years, but this is what he gave me. But so
This is the Steve, Dad's friend memorial palm.
So I planted it, and it's about the same size as when I originally got it. It hasn't grown much, but I guess it will now that it's not kind of root bound in a pot. So that's my hope. And this is a young queen palm.
Okay. So is that the same kind as over there?
That is the same kind, right?
So
over
that
there.
will grow into that.
There are different species of queen palms, and I'm not sure they're exact same, but they're all pretty close. And I don't know what this vine is here, but it covers our whole backyard. It provides
So
kind of
take a
nice
look. Does
buffer.
anybody who's watching know what kind of vine this is? Pretty
And there's,
thick.
there's flower pods on here. They haven't started blooming yet, but they will later on in the summer. Let's see if we can find one. No, I'm not seeing one right away, but there are some. It looks like it.
Yeah, so we don't know what that is. Why don't you guys comment down below if you have an ID for that?
Okay, this is a pencil cactus, and these are vines that we planted, and my wife planted them, and I don't know what they're called.
So how long have you had this pencil cactus?
Oh, pretty long time. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how long, but several years.
And it
it's
changes
getting
color?
a lot out of control. Well, just a month or so ago, this top part where they were bright red, it was almost looked like it was on fire. So it was really pretty. And it doesn't do that very much because this is the first time I've ever noticed that. So it's kind of faded now quite a bit. This is
Were you guys in a drought before that?
Pardon?
I think sometimes these get.
Well,
Suck-
they're fed by the sprinkler system
Oh, okay.
or by the drip system, so they get plenty of water, and that's why it's so vigorous right now. And the same with these succulents here.
Can you tell the story about these?
Well, these my mom lived in a house in Tucson that my grandfather and my grandmother had purchased it probably in the early 1930s. It was an old adobe house in a beautiful old Tucson neighborhood. And in their backyard, they had this same plant back there. So my mom took cuttings from it, and then she gave those cuttings to me. And all of these were started from those cuttings. So that and another one over there. So they grow fast. It's a great plant.
And the cool thing is that my dad's gonna give me a bag full of these cuttings too. And if I can keep them alive long enough to get them home, I'm gonna try to start growing some of these, which would be, I think, a really cool way to kind of keep a plant alive throughout multiple generations.
And this is from that.
That's from that too.
And we got a little cactus garden here.
This is cool, Dad.
These are saguaro, not saguaros. These are barrel cactuses right here. And this one started budding out these like little arms earlier this spring.
His little arms.
And I found that I could take my foot and just push it, and they broke off very easily, and I planted them. So,
Oh, wow.
so that's what these little ones are. I'm hoping that they're
Interesting.
going to grow into some more, barrel cactuses.
What did you do? Did you put them in water so they would grow roots? or
Well, I
something?
did. Initially I just put them right in the ground, and just I'm watering them profusely to give them that start. And that was over a month ago, so they still seem to be doing okay. I don't know if they're rooting or not. And I don't really know exactly, but this is kind of like an organ pipe cactus. But I don't think it is an organ pipe, but it's in that same kind of variety. Here's another ficus tree, which shows less of the frost damage, but it needs to be shaped. And these are grapefruit trees.
Can you say that again, talking to the camera?
These are grapefruit trees. All of the grapefruit came off of them just about a week or two ago. Watch your step. All of the grapefruit came off of them about a week or two ago. There, as you can see, there's blossoms all over. We're pretty much to the end of the blossoming, but you can still smell that beautiful citrus smell.
It smells really good.
Yeah, they really smell good. So now we've got, each one of these, not each one of them because there are thousands of blossoms, but some of them will grow into really big grapefruit. The grapefruit start to ripen in late December. By January, they're great. By March, they're very sweet and really delicious. But after that, then they get kind of pithy and soft. So we pull them all off, and you got to pull them off before the blossoms. Otherwise, when you pick them, you lose blossoms, and it affects the next year's crop.
Oh, interesting. So these blossoms will be for next year then?
Yeah, they'll turn in. Some of them will turn into fruit
Next year.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they get steadily bigger.
When do they start setting fruit?
Well, really, probably in a couple, 2 or 3 weeks' time, you'll see that all these flowers will have dropped off, and then a lot of the blossoms will continue to drop.
So then there's a grapefruit on the ground there that didn't get picked.
Yeah, don't look at that.
Now just to show, I don't think Brazilians know what grapefruit is. Well, we can show what
Well, you can
grapefruit.
probably show them.
Yeah, I'll show them a picture. All right, now the good stuff.
So, this is my garden. I patterned my beds after John and Shannon's garden. I built the beds.
I think you
Got
did
the
really
mulch.
good, don't you guys? Look at these.
I built them, filled them with mulch last fall. It was still blazing hot, and I started a little garden last fall. Didn't have the drip system working for them, so I was using hoses and watering. It was very unsuccessful. It was a very frustrating start, but I started this year. I've got some romaine lettuce, some strawberries, some Swiss chard. I think that's a cucumber, more romaine. I've got mint here that's going to take over the whole bed, so I'm going to have to figure out and do something about that.
Yeah, you might want to put that in
I've got some basil here, which I probably need to pinch off this stuff. Otherwise, it'll grow to flower. I've got some tomatoes
Yeah.
and some
Pollinate those
cherry
guys.
tomatoes and back there. And further back, I've got
We got the,
all
well, he's got the
different kinds
good thing
of
is he's got the bird netting too.
bird netting, yeah.
So I was showing my dad how to do the, self-pollination with these tomatoes by kind of giving them a little shake. Especially since you've got this netting and you're not going to have the natural pollinators coming in. You want to give it a little shake. And he's got the eggplant, right?
Eggplant,
Peppers.
peppers, bell peppers. I think I might have some Anaheims. I've got cucumbers and squash.
I think this is a
And
great
that's about
garden,
it.
Dad.
Yeah, it's a start.
So like father, like daughter, that's
Wow.
my dad's garden.
I'm learning.
You did great, Dad.
All right, sweetheart.
All right, love you, Dad.
Love you.
Thanks for showing us your garden. So if you guys like that, comment down below. If you have a garden in the Southwest, let us know what you're growing. And if you can give us any ideas on the stuff that we didn't know what it was, please give us your ideas down below. Until next time, do well and always make things better.